Hey guys, welcome back. In this tutorial, let us see about linear layout and frame layout. Let me quickly start a new project. I'm selecting the empty activity. Let us name it like linear layout example. I'm clicking finish. It's loading the project. The gradless building. When the gradless building, at that point of time, if you go to the layout and if you open, you cannot see any kind of the views here, because until it is getting finished, it will not show. Okay, right now it has finished building it. Let us go to the code and see. Yes, let us go to the split screen. And let me minimize this project view. Okay, it's good. Now, before designing here, first, like relative layout, how we see the definition, let us see the definition for linear layout also. As I already said, linear layout is actually a class written in Android framework, which is what we are using it in the XML here. So, press the control button and go to the definition. This linear layout is coming from the Android SDK. Let us see what is the definition they have given. A layout that arranges other views either horizontally in a single column or vertically in a single row. So a very simple explanation, a layout that arranges any views either horizontally in a single column or vertically in a single row. Okay. And they have given some example, and there is one more important point I want you all to focus. Okay, to control how linear layout aligns all the views it contains, set a value for gravity. If you set the value for the gravity, you can change the views. And another important property is you can set the layout weight. This property has a much impact on laying the child or the children the layout is holding. So what they are saying is you can set layout weight on individual child views to specify how linear layout divides remaining space amongst the views it contains. So this layout weight property is going to play an important role in actually dividing the screen among the child the layout is actually holding. Okay, let us go back to our layout.xml file. The file name is activity main.xml file. Let me change the constraint layout to linear layout. And let me remove this text view. Let us have a view group, which is again a view. Let us have a relative layout here. And let me have the width as some 30 dp. And let me have the height as 40 dp. And let me close it here itself, as I'm not going to have any child. Okay, this we already learned that a view group is the base class for layout, and it is an invisible container. So once you add a relative layout, you cannot see it, but it is actually a container. To see it, we can have a background for this. Let me add a color primary dark for that. Okay, or let us have a little more size like 70 dp. Let me copy the relative layout and add two more. Okay, now see, it is stacking all the layouts horizontally. We'll discuss that shortly. And let me change the color of this. It is color primary dark. Let me change it to some other color primary, and so that we can make some difference here. Let me change to color accent. Okay, cool. Right now we have three different colors, and it has stacked up horizontally. Now, the first thing what as per the definition is to control, we can add the gravity parameter here, and let me make it center. Okay, we got it in the center. If we want to take it to the bottom, let us take it to the bottom. Yes, it went to the bottom. Now, why it is actually stacking up all the contents horizontally is because the linear layout, as per the definition, they said it arranges the other views either horizontally in a single column or vertically in a single row. So by default, it will actually align the elements in a single row horizontally. To change that, we have to use another parameter, orientation, to vertical. If I change to vertical, see, now the layouts are arranged vertically in a column. Now let me put it in the center. Okay, the first thing we have covered. Now the second important parameter they said is you have a weight property. Okay, let me say how to add the weight. So before that, I will make the layout width or height to 0, and let's see what's happening. So I'm making the height of the relative layout to 0. As soon as I make it to 0, it is saying that suspicious size, this will make the view invisible, should be used with layout weight. So note that this should be used with layout weight. So why I'm making layout height as 0 is because we are setting the orientation in vertical, which means like it is stacking from top to bottom. So height is what I want the layout to decide on its own. Layout in the sense, the linear layout to decide on its own how to calculate the height. But we have to add one more thing here, that is layout weight. That is what we see in the definition. So let me add that layout weight property here and see what's happening. So I'm adding the layout weight as 1. So you can see as soon as I add this, it's taking the entire space. And to make it look good, let me make the width as match parent. Similarly, let me change the height of this to 0 and this also to 0. Now, same way, let me make the layout weight. Let me copy this and make the layout weight. Okay, let me change this to 2. Okay, and also I think for the width I need to change to match parent. Similarly, here also will change to match parent. Okay, now let us add the property layout weight 1. Okay, now you can see the screen is actually divided in the ratio as we have mentioned, like 1:2:1. So the first layout is actually taking the one part of the screen, the middle one is taking 2 parts of the screen, and the bottom one is taking 1 part of the screen. You can mention anything. Suppose if I mention 3 here, it's going to take the 3 part of the screen, 2 part of the screen, and 1 part of the screen. So now you can understand like why I made the layout height to 0, because I want the layout, the linear layout, to decide the space how much it want to give for each of the child. So if I change this to a tablet, you can see it is again giving the exact space, like 3 for this and 2 for the middle one and 1 for the top one. Suppose we want to stack from left to right, that is horizontally, you have to change this to horizontal, and that alone is not enough, because now it will throw an error like suspicious size, probably intended for layout width. It is saying the 0 dp should go for layout width, not for layout height, because you are aligning all the elements in a horizontal way. So let me change this to 0 dp, layout width to 0 dp, and let me copy that and paste it over other child, and let me give the height as entire screen, so match parent, and let me copy this and quickly paste it here. Now you can see all are aligned from left to right, that is in horizontal way, and the first one is taking the weight parameter as 1, so one part of the screen. The middle one is taking 2 part of the screen, and the last one is taking 3 part of the screen. I think now you would have understand the linear layout better. So with this, we are winding up the linear layout, and we will look into frame layout. Let us discuss about the frame layout now. Let me go to the main activity. Let me change this to frame layout. We are creating this just to see what is the definition of frame layout. Okay, this frame layout class is coming from the Android SDK. Okay, what frame layout is saying? Frame layout is designed to block out an area on the screen to display a single item. Generally, frame layout should be used to hold a single child view because it can be difficult to organize child views in a way that's scalable to different screen sizes without the children overlapping each other. You can, however, add multiple children to a frame layout and control their position within the frame layout by assigning gravity to each child. See, by assigning gravity to each child using the Android Layout Gravity property attribute. So, child views are drawn in a stack with the most recently added child on top. So, it's not going to add to next left or right or bottom. It's going to be on top. It's going to be overlapping. It's going to be overlapping one on the other. Okay, the size of the frame layout is the size of its largest child. So the main thing I want you to focus is we can control the child with Android Layout Gravity property, and it's going to block out an area on the screen to display a single item. Okay, let's go back and explore the frame layout. Let me change this linear layout to frame layout. And I have the gravity as center. Okay, let it be there. Now we have a suspicious size here for the linear layout, and let me change to, let's have the match parent as the width. Let us fill the entire screen. Okay, and the height is actually match parent. If we are going to do like that, let me do that. The topmost one is going to overlap it. Now this color actually has overlapped it, and if I change this width to match parent, now this color is overlapping. Now actually 3 layouts. The one is on the bottom in the sense like on the background, on the back. This is in the middle, and this is in the front view, so that color is actually visible. And let me remove this weight property. It's not going to have any effect here. Okay, now I have removed the layout weight property, and let us have a different height for each of the thing. Let me add a 200 dp here. See, I have made the one which is on the back to 200 dp, so it's not visible. If I make the width of this one to 100 dp, now you can see that, oh sorry, I have made the width to 100 dp. So let me make the height to 100 dp. Now you can see the middle one is actually blocking the entire screen, and the top one is only for the 200 size. Let me make in this way. Let us make the back one as 300 and the middle one as 200 and the top one as 100. So now you can see the one in the back is actually having a 300 dp of size. From the top to the bottom is actually 300 size, and this one is having a 200 size. From the top to this much of size is actually 200 dp, and the one on the top is actually having 100 dp of size. So how to control these children? We read that we need to control this with a layout gravity. Layout gravity, I'm actually typing it here. The layout gravity is actually for child, not for any parent. So what does this mean? If even though the parent is not defining any gravity and the child want to take the liberty to make itself defining a gravity, at that point of time you can use the layout gravity. I'm asking the parent to lay me in the center. So the bottom one in the frame layout is asking the layout to draw it from the center. Now the middle one is asking the frame layout, let us write like this, from the bottom. See, the middle one of this color is now moved to the bottom, and we haven't mentioned the top one, and let it be in the top itself. If you want, you can on the safer side have it like this. So in this way, the child has to make a request to the parent. The parent here is the frame layout by means of the layout gravity property and make them align in the way they want. So this is about a frame layout. Maybe I can explore one more thing, maybe quickly. Let me try it right away here. Okay, which one is actually okay? The 300 dp width, let me make it to 100 dp and let us align, like I think we can R here. Alright, yeah. So I want it to be in the center and I want it to move to the right side, and I have defined a width of 100 dp. Now the height is actually 300 dp. Suppose if I'm going to make a height of 700 dp, okay, it's exactly aligning there. Let me make to 800 dp. Okay, you know why? Because it is on the bottom, and how much ever I stretch, the other two layouts are actually laying on top of it. Now if I want to lay it on top of the other two, I need to bring them to the down. Here the order of definition matters. Now if I put them here, now you can see it is overlapping the other two. So here the definition, where you are actually defining the views is matter in frame layout, but in relative layout it doesn't matter. It depends upon the relationship how you are going to establish within the child or with the parent. But in frame layout, the order is very important. I actually wanted to cover this, so hope it came very well. I think you might have enjoyed the episode. If you are liking my tutorials, if you like the way I teach, please subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching. We will meet in another episode. Bye bye.